Over at Goodreads.com, 108 listings have been posted under the heading entitled, Jane Austen Erotica. Do you have an opinion about that? My name's Allison Jennings, and I'm back with another video to see what people are saying about Jane Austen's stories being retold in the form of erotic novels. It says here that most of the readers of erotic novels that responded to our survey are
heterosexual women in committed relationships. They are highly educated, from a broad age span, describe themselves as avid readers, and like to share their reading experiences with others. Distraction and feelings of ease were identified as prime rewards associated with reading erotic novels.
That seems kind of interesting, I guess. Do you guys think statistics like that really mean anything? As for our titles over at Listopia, coming in at 106, we've got a book that spins on the hugely popular 50 Shades of Grey, which means that we can probably guess the plot. 50 Shades of Pride was written by Anna Smith. It's got a 4-star rating, but it doesn't have any reviews, so let's try something else. Number 94 is called An Offer of Impropriety, written by Sophia Grace. It has a 3-star rating and it has some reviews. A Goodreads member named Debbie has this to say.
There is a story here, though it's a simple one. Elizabeth has just had her awful proposal from Mr. Collins. Her mother has pressured her to accept, and she doesn't trust her father to back her up if she refuses. She can't bring herself to actually say yes, but also feels that she has no choice. She opts to tell Collins she'll get back to him with an answer, and then dashes from Longbourn for a good cry and a last taste of freedom. She encounters Darcy, who comforts her. This leads to an encounter of the sexual kind at a hunting lodge on Netherfield's property. The writing is of high quality with character development and a story convincingly similar to Pride and Prejudice, far superior to many intimate tales that pop up by other authors pretending to be variations on the classic. Every now and then, I enjoy an uncomplicated plot with the emphasis on the steamy bits, and this short story is definitely that.
Seems fair enough, and many thanks to Debbie for providing us with a review. Further up the list and coming in at number 77, we have a title that certainly sets the tone. If I were to expand on the alliteration in use, I might call it Perverted Peeping at Pemberley, a Pride and Prejudice intimate by Daisy Dare. At number 64, the flavors change with Gay Pride and Prejudice, written by Ryan Field. By virtue of the title alone, the plot here seems fairly straightforward, so maybe some of our viewers might prefer to read this one. Number 49 applies the technique of creating a blunt title, Pride and Prejudice and Sex. There's no mystery here, but it does seem as though there's something infantile going on with this one. Sex and sensibility makes the point clear about the subject matter, but coming in at number 1, the topic is most clearly understood with the title, Spank Me, Mr. Darcy, by Lisa Trevor.
My God.
We were warned, were we not? This particular title was obviously created for its shock factor. It has a 3-star rating, and the reviews are mixed. One reviewer says that it wasn't a satisfying read because it lost the heart of Austen, and another states that the plot was really boring. Joy Smith calls it a fun but titillating read, and Kenzie plans to donate the book to charity. Reverend Dave was not impressed, and he spoils it by telling us about the dungeon, and Zenny Doll gave it 5 stars because she loved it. The business of combining Austen's stories with erotic fiction seems to be a mixed bag, since most of the ratings on this stuff linger right around 2 to 3 stars. It comes across as a bit cynical, in my opinion, considering the devotion she had to her church and religion. Jane Austen was a devout Anglican Christian, and her faith significantly influenced her life and writing. Of course, we have opinions that suggest Pride and Prejudice might be one of the most erotic novels ever written, but I'm not seeing it. The logic here, according to Martin A. Miss, speaking through one of his characters named Keith Nearing, is that Pride and Prejudice would have been perfect if only a 40-page sex scene had been tacked on at the end. Then he says that for many of us, That scene is already there. It takes place post-epilogue and off the page, in our own imaginations. That may be the case in his imagination, but it wasn't the case in mine, so I guess that makes me fuddy-duddy. If anything, Austen may have conjured up some steamy images in her depiction of Wickham and Lydia's elopement, but the text is explicit in expressing how inappropriate these actions truly are. There is, however, a curious historical side note that may be of interest with regard to a romantic novel like Pride and Prejudice, and it has to do with the age in which it was written. Apart from the writings of the Marquis de Sade, there was a book written by John Cleland called Memoirs of a Woman of Pleasure. It was a book that detailed acts of lovemaking in the most provocative of ways, and the pages went on at length. Cleland wrote the novel to free himself from debt prison, of which its lewd content led to its legal suppression within a year of its publication in 1748. There isn't much data on whether or not Austen read de Sade or Cleland, but I would imagine that she probably steered clear of them. Her family was well respected, and she had brothers who were both in the clergy and the military. As for what she might think of having her works transformed into erotic fiction, this is hard to say. For example, Austen has been cheered on by feminism, but what does that even mean? We can deduce that in 250 years, there will be aspects of society that we simply can't predict, because we know that in Austen's time, no one could have predicted that 108 writers would be capitalizing on the virtue of her good name. But there again, modern-day feminism has cheered Jane on for being bold. So does that mean it's possible that she might have delved at times with a subversive edge? As in, feminism of the Madonna kind? I guess I'll leave that for you to decide, and remember, Booktime Learning is dedicated to the study of writing and literature. If this video has been helpful or interesting in any way, please consider clicking the like button and/or subscribing. Stay tuned for more content to come, and thank you for watching.